it, to borrow it, including the right to lease it. I'm sorry, I'm moving very fast. I have a long way to go. Including the right to redesign, to merge it, to give it away. In case you're unable to write, just pay attention to fire into your spirit. Because once your spirit grabs it, you will manifest it. The person who owns a thing and who creates a thing to also kill it and to destroy it. And so the government of God is not like the president. The government of God is not like the king. Even though we call him King of Kings, it's just a way to try and understand his sovereignty. The right way to refer to him is Lord. That's the meaning of owner. Lord. Lord. The creator. And just before you start thinking of creator, like the person who created Facebook and all that, man, you and I, is also a creation. We are also created beings. That's why in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 4 and 5, God was telling Jeremiah, before I formed you, particularly in verse 5, before I formed you. You know what it means to form? You carried one part, put it together, piece it together, you bring the leg, God wanted to form you and I. Or let me use it in the Bible language. God wanted to form Adam, rolled up his sleeves, got into the dust and formed the man and breathed life into the man. And so we are also created beings. That's why in Psalms 139 verse 4, David was so marveled by the masterpiece of God's creation. And he says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. 139:4. And then in Job 33 verse 4, he says, the Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. You know, we like to tell ourselves that we are wonderfully made. It makes us feel nice and good. You know, I used to tell people back in school that if you don't like me, the problem is not with me. The problem is not with me. And we like the fact that we are fearfully made, not scary, fearfully. That's the honor God bestowed on you as a man. That's the reverence. That's why you will see a small boy, a Fulani boy, controlling a large number of cattle. One of them could have kicked him and matched him, but there is a fearfully made aspect of every single human being that puts his dread on even on beasts. But we leave the part that we are made. We were made. There are no self-made man. There's nothing you have that you didn't receive. We were made. For what? Revelations 4 verse 11 tells us we were made for his pleasure. The Creator made us for his pleasure. For thy pleasure they are and were created. But thank God, God didn't make you a thing. I heard that first from our Father in the Lord. Many years ago, he said God should have chosen to make you a rat so that you have 2 teeth. I never forgot those words. And you only screw out when everybody is sleeping. But God made you a man. The psalmist wondered and wondered. He said, what is man that you are mindful of it? Not just that he made you a man, he calls you his bride. He calls you his child. He calls you royal priesthood. He calls you king and priest. And here's my favorite one. He calls you a God. And then in Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 3. I'm getting to the middle of the message now. Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 3. The jealousy. He says, understand therefore this day, that the Lord thy God is he which goeth over before thee as a consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face. So shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Lord hath said unto thee. Please keep that scripture there. There are many illustrations in the Bible that describe God as a terrible, mighty man of war. So he has capacity to do damage massively. And he can consume anything and everything on his way. Imagine that you're married or related to somebody who is a general in the Nigerian army. And you know all those things available to him. But you are fortunate to be his child, you're fortunate to be his wife, you're fortunate to be his brother, you're fortunate to be his pastor. But that doesn't mean that person doesn't have capacity to do damage. That is why in Psalms 105, he talked about this in Deuteronomy 9:3, that the purpose of him being a consuming fire is to destroy your enemy before you. And in Psalms 105, he talked about 105:14 and 15. Particularly in verse 15, he says, touch not my anointed, and do prophets no harm. He was talking about the whole nation, though. He wasn't talking about pastors alone. He was talking about the entire congregation of Israel. The entire congregation of Israel. He called them anointed and prophets. He said, don't you dare touch them. That is why David could look at Goliath and say, you are a dead man. You crossed the line. You defiled the God of heaven's armies, you are a dead man. And he went against him with a sling. And he defeated him. Why? Because he knew the jealousy of God. He knew that God would defend his own. He knew that God would defend his children. But here's the thing about jealousy. Whatever gets in the way of you and that person, the jealousy will take it out, even if it's you. Whatever gets in the way of his love for you, he will take that thing or that person out, even if it is you. Thank you, Mommy. Bible said David was a man after God's heart. But when he crossed the line, God dealt with him so hard. So hard. He was praying, Lord, do you want to crush me like this? Is this how this thing will end? What about the promises you've made to me? Moses, you remember the people who called Korah, Dathan, and Abiram? They were fought for them. They were in Goshen when they were experiencing light and Egypt was experiencing darkness. They saw the miracles of God on their behalf. Lies, water turning to blood, firstborn dying, hailstones. So many miracles. They got to the Red Sea. They were one of those that crossed the Red Sea on dry ground. They were one of those that were singing and dancing after they crossed the Red Sea. But ladies and gentlemen, when they're outside, come here. The same people that took the lamb's blood and angel of death get to them. The jealousy of God opened up the earth and swallowed them. Same people. Same people. What about Moses, the man of God? Numbers chapter 20, verse 12. God gave Moses an instruction. The children of Israel are so angered Moses. But God told him, speak to the rock. Moses went there, and because of the chiding, the argument, the contentions of the children of Israel, he struck the rock twice. And God gave them water. But God told Moses, because he did not sanctify me before the people. Numbers 20:12. He said, because he did not sanctify me before the people. And Moses spake, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron. He said, because you believed me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, Therefore, ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given to them. If you know Moses, you know that Moses have his way with God. Moses know how to pray. Moses know how to intercede for over 1.5 million people, and God didn't kill them. But this time around, he did all he could. The house of thy father should walk before me forever. I said it. But now the Lord saith, be it far from me. From me. For them that honor me, I will honor. And they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. The jealousy of God is meant to protect you. The jealousy of God is, I don't ask your opinion before even creating you. I do not fit into your plan. I do not conform or follow your ways. You follow mine. Joshua stood between the boundary of Jordan and where he's coming from. And he saw an army with a drawn sword. A soldier with a drawn sword. And he walked up to him and said, are you for us or against us? I was shocked that the man said, neither. He said, neither. But I have come. He said, neither. But I have come as the captain of the host of heaven. Sir, you're the captain of the host of heaven. We are children of Israel now. We should be on our side. Say, no. You are on my side. You are on my side. It is the government of the Lord, not a democracy, not the government of the people. I don't take orders from you, you take orders from me. It is not your opinion. It is not how you feel. It is the. So he started giving him instructions. Started giving Joshua instructions. Do this, do this, do this, and do this. If you do it, then you're on my side. If you don't, you're on the other side. Didn't you read in the book of Esther? The king was seated on his throne. A man named Haman came to the king. And he said, there are a group of people